All right. So I just kind of got a little bored while working, so figured turn the live stream on so anybody can watch while I'm working on some stuff. I'm just typing up notes right now. Getting a little popcorn snack. Just trying to figure out what to do next. So right now, what I'm working on is kind of working through some of these notes. Like I got songs. I got one random story idea in here, so I'm just working on typing them up. This one is called Earth Seed, or I have came up with a couple other names for it, called like Terra Seed, or God, where is it? Oh my God, lost it. Way back here. Okay, either Terra Seed or Terra Code. So far, what I've typed up is that I have so Earth Seed, Terra Seed, or Terra Code, the expansion and evolution of mankind. In this universe, there are currently over 3.65 trillion variations of Earth in existence spread out all across the cosmos. So, very, very far in the future. Most civilizations are located in their own solar systems or in their own galaxies, with only a few exceptions. Some civilizations will inhabit the same region. The number of civilizations is continuing to grow exponentially as mankind continues to expand. Oh, typo. Continues to expand, advance, create or terraform. So create from scratch or terraform existing planets and inhabit other worlds. So what is Earthseed? Earthseed can loosely be thought of as save files or source code that new civilizations use as a foundation to build upon. Earth saves and copies all existing up to date information regarding a particular version of Earth, like, say, it's news, it's society, culture, memes, everything on Instagram, everything on social media, everything on the internet, just basically saved into one bulk file and then shipped off with the new civilization. All right. My text is a little bit smaller on this computer. I could adjust it, but I'm like, I don't know. I can see more. Like small. Just hard to find stuff. Okay. So Earth saves and copies all existing up-to-date information regarding a particular version of Earth. The original name for this blueprint was the Astro-Evolutionary Equation. It is now more commonly referred to as the seed or the Terra seed. Once a certain Earth decides it's ready to send out a mission and start a new civilization somewhere, they take the seed with them wherever they go. Once the new colony reaches its destination, they will continue civilization on their new home world. Various Earth-like worlds. Over time, each individual Earth variant will change, adapt, and evolve or devolve in their own unique ways. Some worlds will endure and struggle, and some worlds will endure struggle and fail to sustain themselves. Other worlds will clash and war will ensue. Some worlds will be peaceful, while some will freely trade and others will isolate themselves. Other factors that affect how humanity evolves in different worlds could include the following. We have cosmic disturbances, in other words, space weather, solar flares, gamma ray bursts, etc. Interactions with other civilizations or alien species, if those are ever encountered or if I feel like writing about those. Neighboring celestial bodies could affect it, like the gravitational pull from them. We got moons, planets, stars, so on, like supernovas, black holes, you name it, asteroids, comets, all taken into account. Ripples or alterations in the space-time curvature. We could have dimensional plane rifts. There's one thing I forgot what it was called. It was like some kind of weapon where they used it to wipe out other civilizations. I read about it when I was learning about the dark forest theory by Lin Lin. I can't remember his name. Liu Cixin, like Liucixin, I think. Don't quote me on that. But something came up where basically you got predatorial species that are wiping out other civilizations, like the hunters, and they use this machine or this device that's able to flatten 3D space into two-dimensional space. But if it's used, it dooms all the rest of civilization because that two-dimensional plane will basically I don't know if it's the vortex or the curvature, something like that crunch basically just drags everything else and is a cascading effect and just brings everything else with it, dooming all other civilizations. Crazy stuff. And then so far I have just different worlds. I'm just trying to come up with some creative different names for different worlds. So in the Milky Way, obviously we have Earth, Mars, Moon, and Venus. I also added Europa and Titan. For civilizations located in the Andromeda Galaxy, I put Coercica. This one's split into two factions, the Luminites and the Shadow Veil. We also have Darvas, Fantoria, Infinato, Nightforge, Magella, and Realis. And then yet to be named galaxy, we have Deathspire, Eternia, and Vivana. All right. Now, for the drafts I'm going through, so these are the part of the first draft. And so I'm just highlighting anything I'm going to keep. So I'm going to go ahead and read through it, highlight what I need, and then go ahead and type that up. You don't need to watch me type it, but we're just going to go through it together. So I also had other characters too, like deities and stuff that may come into play, but I don't know. I kind of like grew up and I figured might leave that out and be more scientific. Kind of keep things real, you know? So essentially what I had originally was the creator, or also the destroyer, same dude. So the original being in the universe, also the most powerful, he's neither good or he, she, just it. He, she is more of like a human or earth species attribution. Like, do bacteria have genders? No. She can't attribute that title to all of life. Our very first life forms didn't have genders. Who's to say that other life forms would? I think we just base our idea of what other life forms would be based on what we look like or are. But essentially, it's neither good nor evil. It's simply a creator or a destroyer, a bringer of light and darkness, life and death. Light and darkness, life and death. Possesses powers beyond anything any entity other than itself can comprehend. Following the creation of the universe, the creator felt alone, so he divided himself into three beings: the creator, light, and darkness. In creating light, it intended to forge the perfect being that he could spend all of eternity with in his great universe. But while doing this, darkness came to fruition. I think basically just trying to take all the bad out of it, separate it into what he liked and what he didn't like. And essentially, what he didn't like, all the bad, became this one being, and all the good became this one being. Essentially, if you will. Green light. All right. So having no desire and allowing the presence of the darkness to interfere with its coexistence with the light, the creator banished the darkness to the center of the universe where it could not corrupt anything beyond where the creator and the light allowed it to exist. This caused the darkness to hate the creator and the light so much that it sought out a way to destroy them both forever. Isn't that kind of like the story of Lucifer? All right, second generation. So that's the first generation. Then we have the second generation, like darkness. Third generation, eternity. Eternity represents time, everything that is, was, or ever will be. Infinity represents all that does and does not exist in the universe, all matter, antimatter, and the infinite vastness of the universe, and everything that exists or doesn't exist within it. Okay. So this is the part where I think I might be taking some of the names, but might be leaving out the deity stuff. I try to steer away from theological things. Trying to avoid the dysphomisms, but just stuff. All right. So we have, I forget how I tended to pronounce this, like XEW, Zhu, or Shu. Allegoria. Life, in other words, life. Life brings all the entities, Allegoria, brings life to all living things within the universe and allows things or beings to be born or even reborn from death. We got the first page we're going to say there. All right, then I have death. Abdu Khan Delphiosa. Okay. Death, Abdu Khan brings death throughout the universe in order to maintain the balance of living and non-living things or beings in the universe. Which ones am I not using? That'd be a better idea. Using that. Don't need that. Death. We have Deus Breckenfold, also known as Reality. This is the god of reality. He can warp time, space, matter, and energy. He is part of the fourth generation. And then another fourth generation deity is the goddess of fantasy, Pamilele. She's seductive and influential. And we have another part of the fourth generation. First off, we have Thraj Bu Shem Kad, also known as Nightmare. It's the god of fear. And then another fourth generation deity is the god of magic, Sage, the god of sorcery, magic, and witchcraft. All right. All right, I'll keep the names from there, but probably not going to have the names affiliated with deities. Probably just going to go ahead and use them for different characters. Maybe even split up the names a little bit. But yeah, all right, got what I need for draft 2. At least I got it typed up now. And then I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can work on it a little bit more when I come back to it. All right. Good work. Good work. I didn't take too long on that one. 12 minutes? Yeah, not bad.